Welcome back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And together we are
Ryan and John.
On the couch as always, producer Cara Tafolla and the lovely Annie Skovmand. Your weekly reminder that the Doritos Locos Taco lasted longer than the Confederacy.
Whoa.
Wow.
Think about that next time you
Dang.
get in a fight with your local Confederacy supporter.
Okay.
Your local
So, yeah, I was going to say, what are you trying to say here?
How you guys doing?
It's better now that I have that fun fact.
Gosh.
I have here a little tiny black box.
And what's inside?
That's for you to decide what's in it.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in
Cara,
the box?
you get a chance to guess. Go ahead.
Oh, did you bring that? Did you put something in it?
Yeah? What do you think is in it?
Wait, you brought that back? Because I feel like that's been sitting there for a week.
No, I brought it. There's something in it.
There's
Is
something
it
in
the keychain that was still in my car?
Is that your guess?
Yeah. Did you grab
Annie?
it out of my car?
My guess was also going to be a keychain.
John?
Can I change my guess?
No, you already guessed.
No. I want to change my guess.
You said it was gonna be, but your guess is...
all of your baby teeth.
Oh, God. Tanya does have it, though.
That's a good
I'm
guess.
sure she
That's a pretty good guess, John.
I think it's a bunch of screws.
Interesting.
All noble guesses, but nothing. There was nothing in the
Okay.
box.
That was my
suck.
second guess. I was literally going to say nothing.
The
Dang
promise
it.
of nothing is something that I've been thinking about since the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Wait, what?
And let me tell you why.
What?
Not because of the
Super
Super Bowl
Bowl.
itself, but because of a certain commercial that I saw.
that was a good commercial. If it's the
What,
commercial
the
I'm
QR
thinking
code
of.
one?
No, it was a bad commercial.
Oh.
Really dumb commercial.
Really?
The commercial for the Metaverse.
Oh, God.
I don't remember what it was.
It was the commercial was like
That's so
Chuck E.
funny.
Cheese. It was like a Chuck E. Cheese
Oh,
character.
yes.
And he basically like Chuck E. Cheese got closed, and then he got to relive his life as a Chuck E. Cheese bandmate, like in the Metaverse.
Right. He goes to different pawn shops.
Are you
People
following this
use it as
Metaverse
a
thing? Do you know what I'm talking about right now?
thing.
I think it's about time we talk about it.
Yeah, I think so.
I am following it. It sounds incredibly ridiculous, if I can be honest with you.
And let me tell you, it is. Because today I actually booted up the Metaverse on my
did?
my
On your
VR.
Oculus, you
On my Oculus, and it is just it's VR chat. Have you ever
It's
seen
kinda
like
stupid,
VR
right?
chat? It is exactly that. It's just a virtual world.
Isn't
it's
that what the
basically-
Oculus was, though?
It's basically already what VR is, but the vibe has changed. They're like, and this is where Facebook's gonna be, and
Oh, weird.
I don't know.
It's kind of like that one. We all go see it together. Nice Guy.
Free guy?
Free Guy.
Free Guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good
Free
movie.
Guy.
It's kind of like
Almost-
Free Guy,
it's
where it's
like-
like you're living in this world together.
I could see that
But it's
being
not.
it down
I can
the
see
line.
that actually being
Right now,
better.
it's just a goofy like. It's basically what do you call it? Better Life, right? The Sims.
Oh yeah.
It's basically that.
I never played that. Sims.
Well, Sims is different, but Better Life was like that. Like you make your own avatar, you
Or
just
like in the
romp
office
around.
when Dwight makes like what was the game that he plays? He plays it's like Sims, but they call it whatever. And he plays this game. It's like a sim game, and he's sitting at a computer in the sim game playing the sim game, and he's like,
So good.
and Jim's like, Dwight made a better life inside of a better life. He's not doing well.
Oh,
So
gosh.
That's the potential
just-
that it holds.
We
It's
just go
so
back to
stupid.
Club Penguin.
No,
Club
okay, listen.
Penguin.
Let's talk about
And
Metaverse.
That's what
Or
I'm saying
Neopets.
is that is the
Neopets.
that's the energy
Classic.
of
Webkins.
the Metaverse. That I can tell is that the Metaverse is just Club Penguin.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Although I will say that like I feel like a lot of like things that are normal now 20 years ago people were saying that doesn't make any sense. Like the internet when it first started, people were probably being like this doesn't make any sense.
It still
You know
doesn't
what I'm
make sense
saying?
to me.
But I'm just saying I'd like to caution with is that weird ideas start with a lot of pushback and backlash, and then they
Yes.
become more normal. Like the internet wasn't normal for a while. You know what I'm saying?
I just feel like it is weird for them to be like, this is this revolutionary idea. It would be. Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Wow. A
Yeah,
spaceship. is
revolutionary
taking off.
idea.
It would be as if a like if Facebook was like, we've got this brand new idea, it's called Meta, and it's a website where you can upload videos and they can be any length, and we want to like help the creators, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's just YouTube. That would just be like the Metaverse. That's just VR. I don't
Yeah.
get.
I'll tell you the
There's
energy.
no change of what is technically happening other than the vibe.
The energy I don't like about regarding the metaverse is a lot of these, like Logan Paul's, Gary V, like all these, people that are perceivably like ahead of the curve,
IDBs.
right? Yeah, I hate when the energy becomes like, well, you better get going on this, because if like when it's coming fast, and if you're late, like you're gonna be so late, and I'm like, I don't believe them, but I don't like that they're putting that out into the world. Like, okay, you got to be into the metaverse. You got to be 100% in right now. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind. You're going to be poor in the metaverse. And it's like, this is such a stupid idea. Like, why are we even talking about it? Let alone encouraging people to like buy into it 110% right now.
Okay, but you kind of feel like you need to because you have FOMO.
Well, no, not even. I think the metaverse is ridiculous.
Yes.
I don't think it'll ever be a thing. I think people are like more gullible. I think there's a lot of people out there that would look at this and go like, I'm going to try and be ahead of the curve, like investing in big companies before they become big, and stocks are big right now too, like in the last year we have Robinhood, like everything, everyone's trying to be ahead of what's next, right?
NFTs.
Yeah.
It's like all that weird, like, stuff where people are like, yeah, hey, this is the future of economy. Hey, this is the future of it's like,
and so
what?
And so what makes me annoyed about it is these guys are doing this, and I know that there are people out there that are like young, teenagers or maybe young adults that are like, hey, I just want to try and be ahead of this next wave. Like, I'm gonna buy in, and it's like they just don't know better, and I hate that, our social media influencers are like, because that to some degree they're probably being paid in some way, right? It's just like that, like that's what sucks about social media influencers is like they start as people you think like they're really relatable, and then when they get more brand deals, it's like I stopped believing them, and that's how this metaverse feels. It's like I don't know if what they're telling me is like actual real thing, or if they're just paid to promote this stupid new thing that's gonna go nowhere,
Most recently, speaking of Jake Paul purchased a case of Pokemon cards.
Logan Paul, but yes.
Logan Paul.
Oh,
pardon me. He
gosh, that was
purchased
rough.
for $3.5 million an entire case of seemingly first edition Pokemon cards that he was going to
Unopened.
open.
Yeah.
And it ended up being fake.
You know what I heard though?
Oh.
Yep.
The money he made on that YouTube video made twofold what
I'm
he
su-
spent on that box.
I'm sure.
And
I'm sure. You think he made more than? You think
I
he
bet-
made $6
I bet he
million
did.
on a YouTube video?
he got so many views. That thing blew up in like a night, in like a day.
Dang.
Well, between
I wonder what the view count is.
everything that it was
check it out.
like on, because I saw that video on TikTok. So like the revenue he got off of YouTube and
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat, because he has a Snapchat channel, and
Sure.
like I'm sure he
So
made
it's all a
at
wash.
least
I guess he only got 5.3 million on YouTube,
But I'm
I
sure
feel
he
like
was
the
endorsed by somebody.
coverage,
It's like all
Yeah.
those videos.
But I maybe not double. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating that number, but I heard that he made the money back pretty quickly on the hype built around. you
He's
Yeah.
made a
know.
couple different ones.
he's
Yeah.
very into.
He's been on that Pokemon hype
Pokemon.
train, and people that collect Pokemon cards are like upset because he's in the past 2 years has taken this hobby, right, where you're buying Pokemon cards, and Trevor's talked to me about this too. Like the price has so inflated because of Logan Paul and because
Yeah.
of these guys that
Weird.
like
Names.
do ridiculous Pokemon openings and everything, that it's like for people that just like, opening Pokemon cards, it's like it's ruined because you can't find any products in the store.
Yeah.
It's way overhyped.
Yeah.
Like people, like there's scalpers
Is that why
online.
it started again?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of
Oh.
YouTubers basically.
I thought it was just because they started coming out with cool things.
Well,
Nah.
they do, and they've been constantly coming out, and
Yeah.
and I'm excited to like I've really
You've bought in a few packs.
I have actually. I like and truly because I've gotten into it. Like I just like opening the packs, like trying to get
It's exciting.
cards that you like. Yeah, it's like it's cool for that, but
I
it is
keep rare ones in my wallet just in case I need a penny.
or like maybe you'll find a hitch like
have-
if you're
we have a few
hitchhiking.
up here.
Yeah,
hey,
we got
can
a
I
They're not
couple of
worth
nice-
anything.
can I
but we-
give you one
No.
of my Pokemon cards as payment?
Yeah. Hey,
never gonna work.
when the apocalypse happens, oh yeah. they're
Oh,
gonna
that
be-
then that happens. Yes,
They'll be
but
the new
for gas
currency.
money, like that for sure.
Yes, we'll have to barter
Well,
in
and that's
the
and to tie it back to our original topic, like that's why I can't buy into Metaverse because I just don't see
'Cause you think
guys
there's a hype train right
like
now.
Logan Paul sitting on a VR set for all day. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like those
of
guys,
course
like
not.
they're not going to do that. And Logan Paul just opened like a drink company. So like they're diversifying in real ways. They're not putting all their eggs in the Metaverse basket, and that's because it's not going to go anywhere. And they
So
all know.
you think we're getting played?
Oh, but the Metaverse, 100%.
Well, by anybody. Yeah, sure.
I think there's like a balance, right? Because all those people, I think about this a lot, right? It's like all those people like Logan Paul, who is like, in all this, innovation.
Yes.
Even like, okay, like Ashton Kutcher is a great one where
Sure.
he is truly like on the cutting edge of all sorts of, innovations and everything. At the same exact time, almost every single one of those people has a huge property somewhere in a state that has like just nature. Like Logan Paul has a ranch in Montana. Kanye and Kim
yes?
had a ranch in Montana. Like these people are also investing in like the complete opposite of what they're pushing.
Isn't that weird? Doesn't that freak you out a little bit?
Interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
consider that
Yeah.
as like land as an investment.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, they're investing in this land where basically go untouched to get away from the thing that they're also pushing on us.
It's crazy.
Truly investing for the apocalypse.
Truly,
Yeah,
yeah.
I heard Joe Rogan talk about the Metaverse on one of his YouTube clips, and it was just funny because it was like, "Are you in the Metaverse?" And then Joe's like, "No." She's like, "Come on, you got to buy land." He's like, "What?" And he's like, "Buy land in the Metaverse." He's like, "Why would I do that?" And they're like,
Buying
"Everyone's
land
doing it."
in the
and they
Metaverse.
pulled up the
Ridiculous.
plots of the Metaverse.
Ridiculous.
Oh my
thing,
gosh.
And they're like, Kanye, or I don't know who bought them. I'm just gonna use random names, but like
Probably
Logan
Kanye.
Paul bought this, and Kanye bought this one, and Joe Rogan's like, "Why would I buy?"
Fake land.
Digital
fake
land.
land.
Literally,
and the
you
guy's
delete
like,
it.
he's like, "Why don't you buy?" He's like, "Well, I can't afford that neighborhood." And I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, how ridiculous is this?"
It's so
That
dumb.
guy's in hot water lately.
Ah,
Joe
yeah.
Rogan. Oh,
I don't know
about
if he
Spotify,
is anymore,
right?
but that was kind of a big thing for
I don't
a
know.
hot second.
It was a topic that we were going to talk about, and I think maybe it's
What do you think
passed.
about that? Well, give it to me. What's your take? Your hot take?
A little bit of background. You probably have seen headlines at least about it, but yeah, he had a couple of doctors. Well, he's had doctors throughout the pandemic come on and on his podcast, and Joe Rogan, credit to him, for the last 10 years has been just like chugging away at this podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience. And it started as just like him and his friends, and then like he started having guests on and started building. So it has a huge audience. And so a lot of big time artists, one that I know for sure is Neil Young, which I was thinking of the wrong Neil for a long time.
You were
I was thinking of
thinking
Neil
Neil
Diamond. I was telling Annie, I was like, "It's Neil Diamond." She's like, "Neil Diamond?" And then I was like, "Yeah, it's Neil Diamond." And I was like, "Yeah,
I was like, all those
know
white
Neil
people
Diamond
are gonna be
stuff."
pissed about Sweet Caroline coming off
But then
Spotify.
I look up Neil Young stuff, and I don't know nearly as many songs.
Neil Young of
but-
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he has a lot
Oh, yeah.
of famous songs.
yes, he's got some stuff. It's not the
Rockin'
stuff
the free
I was
world.
thinking
Yeah.
of. You know what I'm saying? And
It's stuff that you'll know if you hear, but you're not going to be like,
It's
oh, Neil
old
Young.
school
Yeah.
Southern 70s rock.
So
Yeah.
Neil Young, like basically, I don't know how. I guess once it goes to Twitter and it's like, "I want my stuff removed from Spotify."
Well, he did it. He told Spotify, "I'm going to pull all my music if you keep Joe Rogan on Spotify."
And Spotify just paid rumored $100 million contract to own the rights of the Joe Rogan Experience.
Whoa.
So he's exclusively on Spotify. So Spotify has put a lot of
Shoot.
eggs in that basket. And so
Are
Neil
you checking
Young's,
the numbers, Annie?
I was going to check who owns Spotify, but yes,
Neil
I
Young-
can.
I'm going to check because the last time I checked, Neil Young had like, it was just kind of comical that Neil Young would be the like big voice of.
Well,
'cause-
I looked at he has 5 million monthly
That's right.
listeners, and which is a good amount. I mean, hey,
he
that's
has,
a respectable amount.
4,829,000
Yeah.
monthly listeners.
And so the Joe Rogan doesn't say on Spotify, but I looked up, I Googled it, and you can fix the number, but it was something like 100 something
Monthly
million
downloads or something.
monthly listeners.
Wow.
And I was like, that is reach. I mean, you know, and what's interesting is, so this all came out, and Neil Young, and I guess Neil Young has a history of threatening this with streaming platforms,
Sure.
being like, if you don't blah blah blah, like I'm gonna pull my stuff, and he never follows through with it. But this time he did. They're in the process of pulling it all off, and
Because
this,
Spotify said, okay.
Yeah.
Because they truly, I mean, there you go. The numbers right there speak for themselves.
And you were right. At 2020, Joe Rogan signed a $100 million deal with Spotify to give them the exclusive rights to a show.
Wow.
and now
So
that doesn't.
Spotify's like, yeah, okay,
He
bye,
has
Neil
100
Young.
million.
Yeah, I just feel like, and also Joe Rogan's response, I thought was very well articulated. Say what you want about the guy.
What did he say? I missed it.
He went on Instagram and did this whole like 5-minute video. I watched the whole thing. It was when I was sick 2 weeks ago, so I was up in the middle of the night just like kind of looking into all this whole thing.
wonder what
And
Joe
I watched the
has to
whole
say.
thing, and he said essentially he's like, hey, listen, I have people from both sides of the aisle all the time. I had doctors that think coronavirus is the most contagious thing this world's ever seen, and I've had doctors that, you know, maybe downplay it and say it's not that it's not
So
that bad.
what did he say that made it
He's hosting
so bad?
people.
He's a big doesn't
Yes.
believe in masks, doesn't believe in vaccines.
Oh.
Doesn't refute people that are also like, he's very much like,
and that's the problem.
And
no
Neil
big
Young
deal.
is
And
he pulled it because he's like, no,
he's-
that's BS.
because
Because he
he's
felt
like,
like he was putting
yeah.
false information
Yeah,
out.
it's
to the world.
he's
Gotcha.
complaining misinformation, and
Okay.
so Joe Rogan is kind of the uncontrollable, media star, because one, he's not conservative and he's not liberal. He's very moderate. He's like right on the line. You think he's
All
more
right.
conservative?
I
than
mean,
that?
I think his views on certain topics like that make him fall more conservatively. But that's, I mean, you know, he's also very much like a libertarian in that, right? And like,
Yeah.
you know, he's like all about like legalizing like all drugs and whatever, gun control and everything is
Yeah.
like, not a big deal.
it's true.
So it's like, I don't know how.
You're right. I mean, he probably public persona probably is more conservative, but he does not have a lot of the normal conservative attributes in a lot of the main topics. Like
Sure.
like is very pro LGBTQ and like very much like pro choice. Like doesn't all those main conservative markers. He goes the other way on.
Interesting.
And so that's what makes him kind of interesting. And like I said, this podcast, this deal makes him kind of untouchable in a way. Like he kind of has this platform that he has full control over. And so in his response, he said like, hey, I have people from both sides. I like to talk about
Right.
all the angles on something. And sure, I had people that were maybe not as serious. Like they didn't think coronavirus is as serious. He's like, but I also had doctors, and we had good conversations about how serious COVID is. And then Spotify removed like 100 episodes of his thousands of
that
episodes
they were
catalog.
calling misinformation.
Yeah, and so they removed him, and he's like, hey, that's totally up to them. And then they started
Right.
putting splash screens like at the beginning of his episode saying the information in this episode might not
Now,
be.
and that's something
Yeah.
we've
Oh,
talked about
wow.
pretty extensively that I feel like goes without saying.
Yes.
However, when you have such a following, such a fan base, and people cite it as like a source, when dude is literally the dude from Fear Factor. Like,
Yeah.
like he is not an expert on damn near anything.
Literally nothing.
Sure, he brings on doctors, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well Joe Rogan
what
had
if
this
he
guy
has
on."
like a PhD or something? I want to
Yeah,
look
I
that
mean,
up.
look, I'm happy to be wrong in that, but from what I
No.
can tell, he is just the guy that
Yeah.
has a microphone.
So he agreed with all that. He's like, Spotify puts these splash screens up. He's like, I think they should. I'm not claiming to be anything. Like,
Yes.
I'm not a news source. I'm not scientific fact. He's like, I just have good conversations. and
Okay, he
people
dropped
to
out of
listen,
college.
You know? So the
Same.
but
Alright.
the interesting angle for me is the Neil Young angle. Like somebody who leverages their, creative catalog.
Who also, to be fair, built his career on rocking the free world, like a hippie, like do what you want to do, don't necessarily subscribe to big business or the government. And it's like he's kind of taking this funny angle of like, you can't say that.
Yeah.
If you keep saying that, take my music off of there.
Well, I think
It's like-
it's ultimately a lose-lose for him because
I think
I don't
he
care who
thought-
you are. You have to know. He didn't look at the numbers.
He didn't
and
run
I'm
the
sure
numbers.
his team probably told him, "Hey, Neil, let's not do this now."
I don't if
You
he
know?
has a team like.
I don't know. I mean, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure he
I'm sure he
does.
has a publicist at least or something. Or
But he's
the
just kind of
band
like
Just a
legacy-
manager.
Yeah, manager.
He's like a legacy artist, you know. So it's like, it's just kind of random, like that he would like take this stance. I think maybe he was hoping that other people would, and I
Well,
guess
one person
a few
did.
people did.
Who?
Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell, which is in
Another.
Yeah.
that kind of same
Same.
vein of hippie,
Yes.
you
Yep.
know, Woodstock
Hippie.
music. So it's
Hippie
like,
dippy.
What was funny is, so this is cancel culture at its finest.
go ahead.
Oh no.
So this happens. Joe Rogan's under fire.
Yes.
You know, all these people come out and support Joe Rogan. They're like, you know, The Rock's like, "Hey, yeah, man, love your response." Like all these celebrities come out, right? Then there's another controversy, like there about Joe Rogan is, you know, he used to. Did you hear about this?
No.
Shortly afterwards, a week later, they went after him because. And Joe Rogan had a response to this too, of course. And he used to use the N-word
Yes.
in the context of
Oh.
talking about the N-word. He never used it as
Oh.
a racial slur.
Okay.
As like a
But he-
historical, this is what it was.
Like when they
this is
talked
why
about
was
it,
used.
he used it and like actually said it.
About
And,
like the controversy of
Yes.
using it. He
and
used
so
it in
somebody
context
went
about
back
it.
into
Gotcha.
his entire catalog, or has been obviously preparing for this moment.
They've kept
and
it in their back
cut
pocket.
Counted how
Every
many
time
times he said it?
No, every time he
Oh.
said the
Oh,
N word,
no.
they like stitched it together into a 10 or 15 minute thing. Like every
That's a
time.
little too many minutes.
Well, the
That's too
sentence-
many minutes to
I
ever
never saw
justify.
it, but
Yeah, sure.
And
Wow.
so he came back on. He's like, "Hey, listen, you know, this was 10 years ago." He's like, "Obviously, I don't use like I know better now. Like I was never using it as like an offensive racial slur, but like I shouldn't have used it at all." And like was very
That's kind of a, I mean, it's a gotcha thing too,
Yeah.
still.
right.
Well,
So
like-
then this is the best part.
go ahead.
The Rock condemns Joe Rogan now. And he's like, "This is so bad. Like Joe Rogan, I can't believe you
Yeah.
would do this, right?"
Oh.
Somebody digs into The Rock
Oh no.
and finds him using this blatant offensive Chinese accent on WWE or something. It was like fully
Yep.
making fun of, you know, and
Look, that's what happens when we start pointing
Yeah.
fingers.
Yeah.
and so then they
Is that-
cancel The Rock, and I'm like, this is cancel culture at its finest.
Wow.
I love it.
Oh yeah, they really canceled The Rock. Yeah,
They didn't cancel
His career
him.
is
Nah,
over.
he's
But I'm-
canceled after his stupid Super Bowl thing.
I never
already
saw
I
it.
mean, that's the epitome of not getting canceled. Is
Yeah.
he opened the Super Bowl and was like, "LA is back, baby. We're here. We're playing football." Like he basically just like announced like the beginning of
stadium.
the Super Bowl. It's like,
I saw that on his
so
social media.
stupid.
I
I mean,
didn't see the actual
yeah.
thing, but
Yeah, it was.
look, and you can't cancel that guy. 'cause
he's not canceled. But I'm saying it's just like you said. It's just like funny when you know you start.
You start pointing fingers.
It's like everybody's got something.
Yes,
You know?
Well, and of course, in the past, 20 guys who have been in media in the past 20, 30 years is
Yeah.
like, yeah, the amount of social norms, social acceptability that has changed. I just watched this whole video about like the the civil rights movement and like how post that, like even in the 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s, like you'd hear Johnny Carson saying the N-word, talking about like black people call each other this, like, and it's like he would just say it on national television, and like it was just like, yep, like they were just having conversation.
Yeah.
And it's like that is such a and I don't obviously support that. I think it's good that we change and improve as a society, but once it's that whole once we start looking back thing, everybody's got skeletons in their closet. Everybody
Yeah.
did and said things and especially in comedy, to get a rise out of people and to get a laugh, and what
Yeah.
was funny at the time is definitely not funny now down the road. In retrospect, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw James Acaster, who's like a British comedian, and I saw a bit actually this morning that he was doing. It was like him opening his show, and he goes, "Now I know you probably came here for very crude comedy because I'm male and I'm white, and that's what most of us do, but I'm not like that." And that's the only bit I saw, but I was like, man, that's very true. Like you look
Yeah.
at like David Spade, and even the one who just passed away, who
Bob
was
Saget.
Bob
Saget. Like they
Saget.
were all known for like when they'd kind of play not David Spade necessarily, but they'd play like more wholesome characters, and then you'd go to their comedy shows, and
no.
you're like, oh,
You are
my
a dirty old
gosh,
man.
yeah. And there's like all these stories of. Well, like, even like Conan, I love Conan, but like you
Love
look at
him.
some of his old like bits from the very beginning of his show, or like clips, and there's like
Talking about masturbating bear.
What?
no
Man, that's funny.
Okay.
like-
Hey,
Never
you
seen
gotta
it.
look that up.
there's
It's
like
just,
Oh, I probably won't.
but there's like clips of him interacting with like female staff members where like I'll be watching it and I'll be like, oof, in like today's context, he probably like they probably wouldn't be okay with him doing this bit. But like it's still funny, and it was like, it wasn't anything like
not
malicious.
sure about Conan.
but-
That guy's pretty evergreen. But I'm sure
love
there are those like pretty
well, now I feel like everything is so padded, like
under the microscope of
Yeah.
like what
It makes and that's we talked about this last week. It's what makes media so difficult, but also so easy to like break out into. You can just start saying crazy stuff,
Yeah.
and people start to know you. Like that's how like we were talking about Joe Rogan last week, and we were saying like the guy grinded for 10 years on this podcast, and only in the last probably 5 has it really blown
did
up.
people start to
you know?
listen and be like,
and
"He's crazy."
You start to look at
It's
what changed,
crazy.
and like he started having strong opinions. He started having opinions that were against the grain.
Well, and I'm sure they
you
were
know?
always there, and I think that's the
COVID just
the COVID
enhanced it.
effect is it was this worldwide event that people start being able to take sides on, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe you're all right over there,
Maybe
Joe. Maybe.
who's not all right?
Who?
Kanye.
Oh my gosh.
man.
Did you see what he
Oh, no.
wore to the
Please
Super
call
Bowl?
his
Yeah.
legal name.
Oh,
Yay.
Thank
Whatever.
you. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, he wore like a mesh face covering
Oh,
for the whole time.
The Donda outfit.
Oh, really? I
right?
saw a video of him rocking out to the halftime show with no mask.
Oh,
maybe
maybe
he
he
took
just
it
did it in the
off.
beginning. Because there were a bunch of memes that were like
Kanye's view, and it was just like
it was little holes.
Oh yes. I saw that.
The guy, talk about captivating media. The guy knows how to keep an audience.
I'm excited to
I
see
feel like-
this documentary. Have you heard about this? It's this it's like his come up basically. There was like a guy that was filming him like kind of home video footage.
Love that.
Yes, of like his early days of like making
What?
beats and like doing samples for people and stuff. And it's this it's going to be this Netflix documentary called
course.
Genius, but it's spelled Jenyus. Genius.
I
Of course
really,
it is.
really dislike Kanye.
You know what? I did too. The more I learn about him, like his early career, and like the more I listen to his music, I'm like, there's something there.
Yeah, no,
you know?
I think he's a
know.
little too
Kara's
crazy.
like, yeah,
He
that's enough
is,
for me.
and you're right. And
No,
he is
he
crazy.
is crazy.
No,
That
there's-
much
that
is
is
for sure.
undeniable. But
And I feel like like
I love him. I kind of love him.
I kind of am loving it.
I feel like I'm gonna like cut it here
Go ahead.
with it.
Yes.
Like I think he's crazy in a good way.
Yes.
Like he's like a crazy genius and
Of
like
course.
crazy good at music.
Genius.
I think that it on the other spectrum of that word, like he is going through some sort of mental health
Oh,
crisis,
yeah.
and we're not using crazy in that term, but like
Yes.
Oh, good call.
because like the reality is like we are publicly watching someone go through something,
Yes.
whatever it ends up being, and I equate it to like, and granted, like I was a little bit younger for that, but like Britney Spears and like growing
Yeah.
up watching,
Yes.
and like I love
You're right.
that
I mean, you're right. It's easy to be like, oh yeah, she was crazy. Like she fully
Right.
unhinged. It's like she was dealing with
mental
emotional and mental trauma.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think the reality
in
is like,
real
look how
time.
far we've come in the sense that like
Yes.
everyone. I mean, there's some people who are like still like poking fun at him, and like let's be real, he's doing these like irrational, outlandish things, and like how much is it for publicity, and how much is
Yes.
it like
Yes.
just as
For
a
me,
result
it's
of
like
this.
choose a name, dude. You've changed your
Really?
name like
Well,
4
okay,
Really?
times.
That's
Snoop
what
Dogg.
What
bothers
about
you
P.
about
Diddy?
me?
Remember,
Snoop Dogg only changed
Dogg
it
did
once.
Snoop Lion,
Yeah,
and
what
then
about-
just
Just
back to Snoop
What
Dogg.
Just
about
once.
Puff Daddy and then just
P Diddy.
P Diddy and now he's just Diddy?
I think name
Come on.
change. That's
Did it?
that's the least of my worries about.
I think
Ye.
yeah.
About
I think
Ye.
he says things that are like crazy all the time.
And then like even
There's
his
this
opinions
famous
are
clip
like switching and
of it was like on some kind of, I don't know what it was for, but it was him and Mike Myers are on TV, and he goes, George Bush doesn't care about black people. And then it cuts, like the camera cuts because Mike Myers' face is like, cut the tape, cut the. It was some kind of like Feeding America like.
Oh,
thing.
gosh, and he said that
and he goes,
on air?
while he was president. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Oh,
Mike Myers was like,
gosh.
I heard he was on Jimmy Kimmel and like, or maybe it was Ellen that he had this.
Oh, his
he
Ellen
did this
interview
whole
is
10-minute
insane.
like
It's so
monologue,
crazy.
and they had to cut like a lot of it because it was just like
you can watch. You
incoherent.
can watch the whole thing uncut.
Oh really?
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll watch it.
I heard it was. I heard it was pretty rough.
He
You know.
just goes off, and this is the kicker for me is he has said on record that he intentionally goes off of his medication to write music. He's like, it makes me my medication, like it takes away my creativity, and so when I'm going to write an album, I'll go off of my medication.
Why not take your
Wow.
meds and then like take some shrooms?
Well,
I don't know
you
if
know,
that's
Cara,
the
maybe you
answer.
should write Ye and give him that option.
Yeah.
hey,
Dear Ye.
Dear
Let me
Ye.
start off
This
by
is
saying
Cara.
I'm not a fan.
Mr.
That's right.
Ye.
I
That's
do
right.
not like you.
Ever since you
Nope.
cut off Taylor Swift,
I knew it. I knew it.
It was that. It
was
goes
that
back
moment.
to that, doesn't
No,
it?
Yeah,
not
it
really.
does.
No, she thinks
That-
about it
And
for
to
a
be
second.
fair,
Yeah.
that was, I think, one of my first exposures
That
to
seems
him.
like
I didn't listen to
that
his
seems
music
like a
growing
bit,
up.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah.
I loved when he was at some other award show and he started to like get up on stage
To do
and then he's
it?
like, nah.
It was,
Those
it
past,
was,
was
oh
it the
my gosh.
past Grammys?
It was when Beyonce didn't win again, and
That's
it
right.
was I forget who.
Well, that was only like 3
who
years
the
ago. I feel like
people
It was-
who won it, and the
was
guy
it-
was like, "No, come up, come on."
Was it Beck?
Yeah,
that
it was
when
Beck. Beck
won
won.
Album of the Year.
Back when
And
album
he started to
of the
go
year
up,
instead
and
of
you can see
Lemonade.
Beyonce be like, no.
and Jay-Z's
and
like,
he's like, no. And he's like,
kinda-
nah, I'm just kidding.
And Beck was literally like, "No, dude, come on up. You don't want to come, okay?"
So
And
awkward.
like continued his speech. But I think it's interesting to watch it all unfold because I feel like, as much as like there is cancel culture and everything, there's now this respect for mental health that like
Yes.
Britney didn't have until now.
Yeah.
So it's like it truly is like Hollywood doesn't know how to deal with him because
Yeah.
they're like, we'll just let it run its course.
Yeah, but then
And
it's
you know
also
what?
like
goes.
he has his medication. He
Well, but,
knows.
like-
and
yeah,
the
but you
people
can't force somebody to take medication.
Well,
And
and you
that's
can
why-
also
I know.
choose to not help somebody. You can
Yeah.
also the
You
people
know.
surrounding him can choose to go. Oh,
Well,
well, he's
well,
making us money. Every time
yeah.
he goes on and says something like crazy,
they listen to his music.
they listen to his music. There's a spike in
I
Kanye
imagine
views.
too in his crew,
Uh-huh.
it's not as simple as just saying something. These people are probably in fear of saying something because think
getting
about it, if you were the
fired.
guy that was just like, hey, Kanye, you're like out of your mind. Like you need to like
Fired.
go back on your meds.
Yeah,
He'd be like,
done.
Yeah,
You're
see you
out.
later.
Maybe, I don't know.
And you can be blackballed.
No,
like he
I
has
think
so
he would.
much power and stuff. Like
I would wonder if people start coming out like that have worked for him before, being like, yeah,
I got fired.
because there hasn't been
Or
some
just
big.
like, I just it
well,
sounds not very
did Kim
fun to
say
me.
anything?
Well, she kind of
don't know.
spoke out when it was first.
Yeah.
At the very beginning of his, remember he had that rant about like almost having had an abortion, her having an abortion, and he like almost had like it was like the first real public meltdown in a
Yes.
while.
Well, wasn't
And
it
she had
when he was
kinda-
trying to run for president?
She
Yeah.
had kind of spoken
He was
out
on
and
the
was
ballot.
and
Yeah.
was like basically acknowledging that he's going through a
Yeah.
mental health crisis and like to give him space and grace and all this stuff. And I don't think she's really made comment since.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like
He's going
that's
through
big
a
of
lot.
her. But I also like. I hate that I know this, but like I've watched like snippets of the Kardashians and they talk about when he joined the family and like his insane genius of branding and
Yeah.
like he only after did they get together did like the Kardashian brand get like so
Totally.
pinpointed into these like neutrals and sleekness
Yeah.
and everything, and like he really wrote the brand, and they would talk
Yeah.
about like his genius of everything. Your outfit for this is going to play off of your outfit for a year and a
Yeah.
half from now
Yeah.
for the Met Gala, and that's going to play off of this, and then you're going to drop this, which is going to make everyone remember what you did
You know
here.
who else does that?
If you say Taylor Swift,
No,
You said it for
not
me.
even close.
You're
But it's-
serious.
Yes, she plans things years in advance.
but I think
Just saying.
that might be like a
have no
trope
words.
of the the industry they're in, that you have to plan everything in advance. But
of course.
But
Yeah,
they
but
talk
you-
about like how he was like such a genius in this.
For the record, what Kanye is doing is not what Taylor Swift is doing at all.
Yeah, I'm not an expert in that. I don't. Honestly, I'll be real, Cara. I'm so sorry. I don't know what Taylor Swift is doing.
I am an expert because no one knows what she's doing right now until a year
Until she
in a year
wants
from
to
now.
know.
Dang.
But
I'll tell you what, if I lost my wife to Pete Davidson,
I was
I'd
gonna say that. I was just
I'd
gonna say
probably be
Kara's like, don't worry, it would
going
never
through a mental
happen.
health crisis. Well, hey,
Who
you
finds
never think
Pete
you're going to be the
Davidson
one,
cute?
and then he strikes. I'm just
and
saying.
Did you
Just saying.
like
Quirked up white boys with a little bit of swagger are
No.
in right now.
I hate the fact that I'm on the edge of my seat with this whole
Yep.
shenanigans too. Like,
Because he's
I saw-
posting memes. You brought that up
He's
before we
posting memes.
got
Kanye
on.
is posting these memes that we don't know if he's finding them on the internet or making them.
I
And
wanna
it's
see.
like
I do
civil-
sure hope
it's
he's
like
making them.
Like a
And
play on
imagine him in
Adventure Civil
Photoshop,
War, and
just
it's
like-
him photoshopping like
It's
himself.
also
against
not
Pete
good
Davidson.
Photoshop. It's just like
It's like bad.
badly cropped,
And
like
I think
normal
that's-
stuff,
I
normal
think that's
meme
like
stuff.
the joke.
Where is he
And then
posting it?
He posts it on his Instagram and then he takes them down. They're like up for an hour, takes them down. Up for a
So
couple
good.
minutes, takes them down.
Why
Yeah.
is his
And
his
then-
last post was 2 hours ago and it's of Kim?
What? Well, so then he posted this thing, like these whole like montage of his whole family, and he's like, "God, bring my family back together." Like, and then he posted these
posted a
like
picture
truckloads of
of
flowers.
Kim,
Yeah.
and it says, "Vision. Oh, sorry. All caps is back for the people that all cap."
What the heck?
Ooh.
She be lying.
I'm so
Yay, be lying. I gotta follow
confused.
this guy because I can't be left out in the cold,
Can't be
Annie.
left out in the cold.
I can't.
It's like he posted these like montages of Kim with their kids.
Oh.
And literally was like, "Bring my family back together." And like he
Dang.
posted these pictures of like a truckload of
so
roses.
here's this one.
It's like, what is that?
It's him and like on the smoky stage, I think from his tour.
Okay.
It says, "I've learned that using all caps makes people feel like I'm screaming at them. I'm working on my communication. I can benefit from a team of creative professionals, organizers, mobilizers, and community leaders. Thanks everybody for supporting me. I know sharing screenshots was jarring and came off as harassing Kim. I take accountability. I'm still learning in real time. I don't have all the answers. To be a good leader is to be a good listener." And then
Someone needs to
6
take him off
hours
of
later,
social
he
media.
says, "Vision. Oh, sorry. All caps is back for the people that all cap."
Gosh.
As a side note, I didn't realize how difference of following Kim and him have. He has 13 million. She has 285
Yes.
million.
Yeah.
Are
Yep.
those fake,
She
you
is
think, or are
much.
those real?
No,
No.
those are real.
She got 4 million on her last post.
Are there that many
They're
people
real.
that truly care?
You got to keep in mind that their TV show ran for 14 years.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're
Like
right.
they have
Yeah.
built this brand, and then think of
I
all
don't
the
know, though.
scandals that they were at the center of, in the sense of, you know, like to the very beginning, like
this meme.
that's the meme. That's the meme that was the
It's
Civil
so
War,
good.
Kanye West.
It's so
It's the
good.
side of Pete Davidson and the side
He
of
didn't
him.
make that.
Yeah, but-
But he posted it.
Annie,
Oh
but think
my
about
gosh.
the numbers on 285 million, and she's averaging like, a couple million per post.
Well, doesn't
whereas Kanye
Kendall
has
have
13,
have
and
the most
Kanye's
ever or
close to
something?
$1 million every time. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that he's. I'm saying like I would think in
285 million.
a
They can't all be.
global name. I think her name might be bigger. I think her global brand might be bigger at this point than Kanye West's.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's no
I mean, the
reason for her
numbers
to,
don't lie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's 285 million people who are agreeing to keep tabs on what she's doing versus
Yeah.
13 million who are agreeing to keep tabs on what
She's
he's
number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on most followed on Instagram.
doing.
Who's number one?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, yep, that makes
Soccer
sense.
player?
Who's
Soccer.
that? Oh, soccer.
Soccer.
And then it goes Lionel Messi.
Don't know.
And then it's The Rock.
Oh, gross.
Then it's Ariana Grande. Then
He's
Selena
canceled.
Gomez. Then Kim Kardashian.
Go
then
so-
Beyonce.
His
Go
career is
so-
over.
I
Then
love
Justin
that most
Bieber.
of these are women. Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they post
Do
more,
you love
probably.
that?
I'm gonna just stick with it and say yes. I don't want to get into like the deep dive of how creepy
Do
that
you
might
love
be.
it?
That's social media. I'm just saying.
I just want.
Meh, meh.
Don't be weird.
I
Don't
think
make it weird.
I'm just
Don't be
saying.
weird.
You know, can I
Don't be
tell
weird.
you?
Women
What?
post pictures of women.
Oh,
and
is this
men
about
like
the
them.
patriarchy?
No,
What do you have to
no,
say?
no.
I'm not encouraging. I'm just like observing the state of affairs.
I love how you both, you're like,
No,
Annie
no.
says this so much that you're both like, no, don't get into it again, no.
Selena Gomez has 296 million.
You go, Selena.
Yeah,
love her.
I mean, for how long though? I mean, she's not putting out any music. She's
What do you mean?
Is
She's
she?
she's in the new
What was her
TV
last
show.
album? Selena Gomez?
She has a lot.
Wizards
She
of
has,
Waverly Place reboot?
No,
her makeup
the
line
murder
is
one.
huge.
Oh, yeah. Only Murders in
but
the
that
Building.
was-
Yes,
That
Rare
was-
Beauty.
Rare Beauty is
Her
huge.
latest album came out a year ago,
Yeah,
maybe
not
less
too
than a
long
year
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez.
didn't come across my feed.
She
Hey,
worked
you're
a
out of
lot
touch,
with
bro.
Oh,
Ben
and
Blanco.
she just did a collaboration song with Coldplay.
Oh,
So-
you know what? Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I love Selena
Tell us.
Gomez.
Probably once every 6 months think about Justin Bieber's insane rise to fame.
Oh yeah.
And
Wasn't Usher
like,
his manager or like found him?
Usher found him, yeah.
Like he never has to work a day in his life now.
No.
He was famous from 13 to now. How old is he? 25, like us.
Yeah.
And
Maybe a little older.
I
you know,
think
let's
he's
just say
27.
23.
27.
Maybe let's just say 23, 10-year span, 13 to 23, and he will never have to work another day in his life.
Nah.
That is no. I think he's her age. I'm almost positive he's her age.
Justen Bieber is 27 years old.
Oh,
We were years older.
right.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I stand corrected. You know what I'm saying? I constantly think about that. That kid in, 7 to 10 years went from random kid
Yeah.
to the
hottie.
most
Cute little hottie.
popular / problematic teen star in that time, in that small.
And he's only 27. I mean,
That
like,
is
think of
insane
the rest
to
of
me.
his career. I'm surprised he hasn't like broken into like movies and stuff more.
I don't think
wasn't
he's
he-
good at
didn't
it.
he, like-
he did
Bad actor.
NCIS
He did
or
this- yeah.
CSI, and he was like so bad,
I
and it was
love
like
that when he
such
got
a meme.
shot.
And he was like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't he do? He's
That
been
was
in like
great.
movies, but as himself.
yeah.
See, I think
Yeah, maybe
I
he is
also
just
heard
one of
that
those
he has
lifetime musicians.
major anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah, he also has. I don't know if it's like diagnosed, but he did a mini series basically.
Watched it, loved it.
So good. It was like a little mini doc
Being
about
Bieber.
basically like
It was
where
for
he
his
is
album.
now, yeah.
He did like a 10-part, or was it 10?
yeah, I think it was 10, and each of them were like 30 or
Well,
40
because
minutes.
didn't he do it because he had his like huge like in concert movie? What was it?
Never say never.
Never say never.
that was a long time ago. This is sooner.
Because didn't he talk about that though?
No.
In it?
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
he
he
talked
talks
about like
about
that
the
part of his
fame
life
thing.
and like
Yeah.
the fame of like
Yeah.
how crazy it was. But it was interesting because like they talk about there's like one section where he has to go in these like air chambers
Yeah,
or something
it's
like
oxygen
that.
chamber. Yes,
An oxygen chamber.
and it basically increases his oxygen blood level and allows him to like relax.
Can't that kill you?
No.
Too much oxygen
It's
can kill
science.
you.
It's science.
No,
some
too much oxygen can get you high.
pressurized-
There you go.
That does not sound
Calm
fun.
you
But
down.
no, in that series, yes, he it's like
he
this.
talks
It's
about
like
how he
this.
has
It
to
looks
go
like a
in them,
body
like,
bag.
once a day.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And Haley,
Wow.
his wife, is a lot of like a big part of his
Has helped
kind
him.
of discovery and recovery from
That's
anxiety.
probably why him and Selena Gomez didn't work because Selena Gomez also has a lot of anxiety and
Yeah,
health
she
issues.
has a lot of health issues.
Yeah, she
I
has
al-
lupus.
Yeah, and that's part of her beauty line
Yes.
is everything is easy to open for anyone with
I
disabilities.
want to go to Sephora and try it
My friend had some and I borrowed some.
because I saw her like liquid blush.
Oh.
And that was like that looked really nice. Everything.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
it looks really
He
nice.
sleeps in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. He has at least 2 of them, apparently.
Yeah.
One at his home, and he has one in the studio.
Wait, what?
So yeah, he like has. It's like this.
I'm sorry, I was
intense
playing
thing.
piano. I fully wasn't listening.
He also gets IV infusions in order to rid his blood of toxins that were built up over several years of drug abuse.
Yeah.
That's
But you know
what's
what's
wrong.
crazy
Wow.
is like
So he's
he
getting
is
clean.
someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's
in
someone
a really
who
bougie way.
I mean,
and
wouldn't
feel
you?
Like
He had the money.
If you were just
Wow.
Bieber, I'd be in the back to tank. Like,
I'd be in that tank for a couple
I-
years. Just be like, hey, keep playing my music. I'll be back.
play it for.
I think that it's interesting in the sense that he's someone where like you watch like Britney Spears or these like big or Kanye who like struggle a lot and like it's like over the span of decades where I feel like his was very like captive where it was
Yes.
like
Yeah.
he rose up really fast, he got like the back end and like the bad side of the industry he had risen up in, and then was like, forget this, I don't want to be a part of that, I need to get my life together, and then like 360'd, and who's to say he like doesn't or 180 again,
He did disappear for a couple years.
Yeah, but
because it was like, didn't he get arrested a couple times?
I think the
got a
like biggest
DUI.
scandal, he got a DUI, and then like he was like caught egging his neighbor's house, but he was like in the like nice neighborhood, so he's like egging these like multi-million-dollar houses, and the people were like, dude, what? This is like a serious.
I got egged by Justin Bieber.
But he's got like an egg Gatling gun, and he's just
Like,
from.
Oh gosh.
And they're
Martha
like, what are you
Mayhew.
doing?
You think maybe we care too much about celebrities?
No.
You know what's the funny
Wow.
thing is, I don't, but I don't like as
Do you
much
think?
as like.
Okay, I should say. Do you think we know too much about celebrities?
Yeah,
like,
probably.
Oh yeah,
that's probably the saddest thing. That like
we know way too much about him.
I saw this TikTok.
Do we?
It's kind
Do
of
we though?
connected.
Like there could be like 75% of a celebrity's life that we don't know anything
right.
about.
Truly, you're
We
right.
think we know,
But
too
there's
much.
so much going on in their life that it's like
yeah
a lot
Maybe
for
that's
us.
the issue. Is we
I
think
saw this
we know
TikTok that was like people you didn't know had a DUI.
I saw
Justin
that one.
Bieber, Johnny Depp, my
Reese
dad,
Witherspoon.
and it's like a picture of like just a guy, and it's like my dad. Or I saw another one. It was like people you didn't know had a DUI. Like Lindsay Lohan, Justin Bieber, my buddy Bob, my buddy Kyle.
Gosh.
That's intense. DUI
so
can
funny.
really
Oh yeah,
Messes
wreck
your
your
life.
life for sure.
Reese Witherspoon has one, and it's like was a very famous quote where she got pulled over and she was drunk, and she was like, "Do you know who I am?
Oh, no.
Don't you know who I am?"
Oh, Reese.
And the guy's like, "Yeah, get in the car."
Yeah, you're still
Yeah,
going
you're
to
still
jail.
arrested.
Yeah. I just am now going to tell my friends and family that I'm
I
the
arrested.
one.
Who
Here's
arrested
a
Reese
here's a quick little list.
Now
Okay.
I'm the guy.
Lindsay Lohan, Mel
Obvious.
Gibson, Justin Bieber, Paris
Oh, yep.
Hilton, Amanda Bynes,
Yep.
Mike Tyson, Heather
Let's just assume,
Locklear,
can we get a list of
Khloe
who hasn't?
Kardashian,
think
Tim
it's just the one.
Allen,
I remember when Khloe Kardashian got her DUI
Kevin
because she had to go
Hart.
to court, and it was on the
Shia
it was on the show.
LaBeouf, Tiger Woods, Michael Phelps, Flo Rida,
Michael.
Tim Allen is the one I learned about recently. Apparently,
Both did.
Keanu
We were
Reeves,
together when we learned this.
Wait, what about Tim
Vince
Allen?
Vaughn.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's
Webster.
enough on the
Wow.
Hold on a
DUI.
sec.
Thank you.
What Tim Allen, I guess, was like when he was starting his like comedy stand-up career. He was like always hitting the sauce, always doing coke. Gets arrested for a DUI. Basically, straight out of jail. The guys at Disney
Called
and
him-
ABC are like, hey, like we like you and we want to help you get your life together.
Whoa.
Basically got him the job on Home Improvement, basically got him all of those Santa Claus movies. Like,
Yeah, he got caught. He was pulled over with a kilo of cocaine in his
a
car.
whole kilo.
one entire kilo.
Holy
That's what it
Yeah.
says. Because that's what.
Was he like a drug
Yeah,
dealer?
we felt.
No, he was
No,
just
he was just buying.
rich.
He was
Isn't that
Costco-
crazy?
enough.
Like,
Costco
talk
Coke.
about somebody like friends in high places. Somebody's
Yeah.
just like, no, we like you.
Somebody picked him
We're
out
gonna
and said-
turn your life around, and then he was Santa Claus.
That's what's so funny about all of it is like, why did Reese Witherspoon get arrested? Like, or really, she got arrested, but
Did she
like
actually get
does
arrested?
that really
kind of thing.
affect her? Like, when you
Well, like what about
What's
Martha
the word I'm
Stewart?
looking
Martha
for?
Not in the
Stewart,
show
who goes to prison, is
For
an actual
tax
felon.
evasion.
talk about a rebranding to
And now
like
her and
save a
Snoop-
career.
Her and Snoop
Her
Dogg,
and
their little catchphrase that they had was her and Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg would go, "One of us here is a felon, and it's not me."
And the other one's Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, and the other one's Snoop Dogg, and like that was their little catchphrase for their cooking show, or like their
So
little
good.
commercial.
It's so weird how they're such a pair.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh, she loves
they both like
him.
weed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
and probably tax evasion. Let's
But
be
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
too.
yeah.
probably they're
Tax
all-
evasion, by the way, is the dumbest thing to get arrested for
Hey.
as a celebrity, because there are so many crafty people that can do
Hey,
your taxes.
That's how they got Capone.
It's more, yeah.
Tax
it's like-
evasion.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they got a lot of the gangsters, because they would cover up their actual criminal activity so much, but then they were like, whatever, I'm not paying tax.
Yeah.
You know what
Wow.
keeps me up at night though? I have a friend.
What keeps you up at night, John?
Doing your taxes.
No, I have a friend that went to a tax guy for a couple of years. Turns out the guy was filing them
He
wrong.
sucked.
had to pay $30,000.
Shouldn't the guy have to do that though?
No,
Here's
because
my
you sign your
issue.
name. You take responsibility when they're being filed. You
Ouch.
sign it.
You know what?
The person does it for you, but you sign it.
That's got to be the biggest travesty that this country is going through right
Oh,
now.
taxes?
Is taxes.
It's
not,
so
Not the
stupid.
idea of paying taxes, but how we pay taxes.
I don't think taxes are
Well,
that bad this
here's-
year.
that
No,
we
here's the
should we
thing.
should file crimes against the U.S.
It makes no
government.
sense, right? Because your employer, unless you're self-employed,
Yep.
your employer files kind of their taxes, which they claim you on and
Yeah.
everything, and they say you work for them, and then you file your taxes, and then the government can come back and be like, wrong, you didn't do it right,
Yeah.
you owe us this
They're
much. I'm
like-
like, why don't you call me? You
Figure
tell
out-
me the number.
You figure out how much you owe us, and if you get it wrong, we'll know.
Let me tell
But,
you,
like,
I'm
we
and we'll
won't
let
tell
you know.
Yes.
I am
We're not
pretty
gonna tell
sure-
you how
We
much
know
we owe.
exactly how much you owe us.
But you have to figure it out.
Yes.
I think I did my forms like way wrong
Go ahead.
for this new job
Wait,
because
what?
I just want you to know that
every-
this is going to be a public podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And if law
Yes.
enforcement hears this, Cara,
no,
we do
no,
not
no.
know what
They
you're
won't
I think
come
I
after
did
you.
it wrong in like the bad way for me. Like
So disorienting. So disorienting for the listener.
Okay, let's talk about your tax evasion, Cara.
Please,
no,
hey, please
like
don't incriminate
wrong
us.
for me, but good in the long run because I'll get it all back. But every paycheck that I've been getting, it's hundreds of dollars off in
Oh
taxes.
no, they just gouge
No.
you for
Yeah, and
Medicare.
then
Kara, that is normal.
Yeah.
That is
Yep.
normal.
You take a look at
Okay,
your
but
pay
with
stub.
Look at my
Starbucks.
pay stub, you'd be shocked.
Yeah,
So on
same.
Starbucks, it would be like $70-$80 off of everyone. This one's like almost $200
Well,
off
you
of
are-
every
you're wor- you're
paycheck.
working
You're working
more.
a lot.
You're working a
aren't
lot
you?
more.
Yeah.
And you're making more money.
I
It's all about
guess.
how much
I'll
you
get
make.
it
That
back
number
next
goes
year.
up. When you make a lot, the government makes
Well,
a lot.
that's like I had.
I'm such a little ant in a
That's
little
right.
California.
Freaking, that's our Uncle Sam the Leech, you know?
Yeah.
He's freaking just takes a chunk out of my butt every 2 weeks.
It's so sad.
out of your
If
butt.
if
Yeah.
there was no taxes, I would be making so much more money.
I'm
It's
just
so
excited though for
sad.
my tax
But
return
then you
next
get
It
year.
all evens
get-
out, right? If
Did you do your tax already? You get
I
a
haven't
saucy
yet.
little tax return?
I haven't yet, but I always, Jordan and I always compare. I mean, granted, Jordan doesn't make as much as I do in the year, but her return versus mine is not okay. Like she gets so much more than me all the time.
a lot
Because
of
she
it
probably
is
filed
school.
wrong too.
No, it's because she's
Right?
a
It's-
independent contractor. She got her own business.
Yes,
Yeah.
She. By the way, off air, I'll tell you,
Right.
she.
Right.
No, because
Did well this year.
that's great. You write off your,
Yeah.
camera gear. You write off your
She could literally write
Gas.
off her phone.
True.
She could write off her phone bill
Yep.
because she uses
Yep.
it for
Yeah.
social media or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
Your
it was
gas.
just like everything.
yeah.
Gas is a big
As
thing.
a independent music producer, I get to write off my my internet usage.
No, you
Next
don't.
year-
Yeah, that's communications.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next year,
Wow.
I'll be doing the same with my small
Albright
business.
Entertainment LLC.
Yeah, it is. It is
Nice.
a thing. this
Let's go.
year. Yeah,
Boop,
so I'm
boop,
excited.
boop, boop.
How much? So when do you start paying your employees? Is the question.
Yeah,
Are
as
we-
three
You
of your
specifically?
employees.
Well,
Wait,
just
are we
like all of your
employees?
employees.
No,
Wow.
this show would have to make.
no.
This show would have to make money.
Yeah,
in
that's
order
right.
for you to make money.
That's
And
the
that's
route.
why
You know
we
how-
have that Amazon
It's kind of like
affiliate
taxes,
link.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like the more you
No one's
make,
gonna
the
listen.
If
more
you
the
make
government
anything.
makes.
They
You know
don't
what I'm saying?
listen to
So
me
when
anyway.
when this show starts making money, you'll start making money. You know what I'm saying?
Can I get like a date? Like when is that?
Okay,
That's enough.
Yeah.
2
go ahead.
years from last Thursday.
Okay.
If you look at the calendar,
Hey.
we're in the year of the Hype House.
You want to know
which
something?
is
That's
a very profitable year.
I had a vivid dream
Last Thursday?
2 nights ago. I had a vivid dream.
You didn't tell me, and it was 2 nights ago.
Can you tell? Okay,
Well, it seemed goofy at the time.
Don't worry. Don't feel
Marital's-
guilty about that.
I had a vivid dream about Albright Con.
oh gosh.
Yes.
It was a live, what the podcast show. There was like a bunch
Was
of
it the
people there.
night that we went live? Is that why?
No,
No,
it
Albright
was
Con
like
is
a
going to
couple
be.
nights ago.
Two nights
I
ago
already
was
have
Sunday.
the vision for
It was
Albright
wait,
Con
what's today?
in my
Tuesday?
mind.
Maybe
Sunday.
it was.
Sunday or Saturday.
It was Sunday. I went to bed and I woke up on Monday and I had a magnificent dream.
Albright Con is what we're going to do.
Go ahead.
How many years from now?
That will be 2023.
That would be next year. That's
So
next year.
It's
Next year we're
Whoa,
having Albright
Ryan.
Con. So the idea is that it's going to be like when there were all those scams for
Yes.
all the other cons
TanaCon.
like TanaCon,
TanaCon.
Yeah.
the like fry
you're-
the
Are
fry
we gonna
like
scam
Albright Con
you?
the next one.
We're
Is
not
that-
no. It's
Yes.
basically we two are going to be like buy these exclusive tickets
Yes.
to our show.
Yes.
And it's not just going to be like a live podcast. It's going to have like,
And don't worry, we won't do it in the
lip-sync,
middle of summer.
And it's going to have lip sync in
Make
it.
you wait
and,
outside.
You know, all these other things and like live music performances and live podcasts. And it's gonna be an experience, people.
That's
Hey,
right.
you ever hear about Fire Festival?
Did you watch
Better
that
than-
documentary?
Better than that.
Better
Such
than
an
that.
interesting idea.
Yep.
The fact that people can scam others so quickly and like through
It's called
social
fraud.
media
Yes.
can just like convince others.
You have
of
that
stuff.
money to
It's
just buy that
crazy.
ticket. It's like, whatever.
Watch the Tinder Swindler. I mentioned it last episode.
That you did?
And that will make you think twice. People are getting more creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole dating thing. Annie,
I don't click
Think twice.
Don't
any
you
link.
dare.
There's something, Ryan, that the other week you're like, oh, did you guys click on that thing? And I was like,
I did not.
I don't click on
What you talking
any.
about?
The one that you sent,
Oh.
the back
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 rooms.
rooms. By the way,
Yeah.
check out
Jeez,
Ryan's
I do not-
React this week.
is jarring, by the
I
way.
do not click on any link anyone sends me now. Purely because I'm like, they could have gotten hacked. and now they've sent
Mine
me a
are
link.
those
That's fair.
text messages
For the
that
record,
are like,
your Apple device
Cara,
will
your
protect
home
you,
is blah, blah,
most
blah.
likely.
And it's like a random
Yeah,
like
no way.
number link. And
Annie,
it's like,
I agree.
That
Don't
is
click on
true.
links, but you should know
My phone
your
is-
phone is protecting you more than you know.
Really?
You won't get hacked. Your Apple devices are pretty.
Oh, I got to show you
This
guys.
is a
I just got
commercial for
I just got a
Apple.
friend request from my grandma on Facebook. She already has an account, so I know that she got hacked.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got messaged by a family member.
You did.
And
That's
I'll keep it anonymous for the time being. And I knew it was a hacker because I asked what their significant other's name was, and they were like
I don't know.
Larry. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
okay, we're gonna
Wrong.
have fun. So for no joke, 6 hours of my workday, I messaged back and forth with this
Oh, no.
hacker, just wasting his time. Just
Nice.
asking more questions. And then he was like, click on the link. And I was like, it's not working. He's like, okay, bye. I'm done. I was like, no, come
Oh.
back. And he was like, all right, fine. Click on the link. I
Oh,
said,
no.
answer me one thing. I said, if you answer this question, I will click on the link. And they're like, sure. I was like, how is your daughter doing in nursing school? And they were like, good. And I was like, you gotta give me more than that.
Good.
She's not just doing good. I know she's not just doing good.
Wrong. She's doing terrible.
Whole afternoon I wasted with
Nice.
this guy. Wasting his time.
That's awesome. That's
I love
awesome.
it.
Have you been seeing the people who've been getting hacked? Hold on,
I'm
Ryan.
going to show off the thing that I
Gosh.
got. This group chat. It's 10 people. A random number texted a bunch of other random numbers, and I didn't have any of them, and just said
Sunday
my
night.
nuts. Oh, maybe we should bleep out the phone number. Well, no, I don't.
You don't know him. It's
No.
Who
okay.
cares? No,
Yeah,
we'll
well,
crop it
Listen,
out.
Sent
if
it.
we miraculously
which
got
I-
1 million followers overnight, we'll bleep that out.
To which I responded, all right.
All right.
All
Hey,
right.
come on.
Still radio silence.
As I was
says-
saying, have you
Go ahead.
guys been seeing the people who have been getting hacked with the crypto? I bought into Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they'll
yeah,
post
I've
on their
seen that.
Instagram stories, all this stuff. So it was like, okay, we know
Shouldn't
it's
even
not
flip
them
over.
because they're just
What?
posting
Didn't even
random.
flip over to the screen.
No, I
She
didn't.
didn't. Dang it.
My friend
She had
from
her own story in the
college,
chamber.
my friend from college got hacked with that same thing. What's it called? The face
This
thing?
actually is crazy.
No.
They
What is
deep
it?
faked.
Yes, they took
The
old
account.
videos and pictures of him and deep faked him
Dude,
onto this guy
Their account
cool.
got
in his
hacked.
story, and he's talking like, "Hey, guy," like in his
And
car.
it looks like the dude, and he's like, "Hey guys, I just bought this," but you can tell it's a deep fake because it's like.
well, number one, it's not his voice.
yeah,
Like
that's-
we
that's
know
the
his
Well, that would be a
voice.
giveaway.
It's if Annie was like, "Hey guys, it's me, Annie." And,
And we'd be like,
I
oh,
just
cool.
bought this
Annie's in a
cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin now.
And then like
buy it.
the
Here's
next
my
post
code.
is like, you guys know, like on Facebook, he was like, "Don't go onto my Instagram. I got hacked. He made a fake video of me. It's not me."
Crazy.
See, and I had a friend
That's
had the same thing with
crazy.
Bitcoin. I fully was messaging that person too. I was just like, hey, what's up?
Hey, pal.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, oh, do you want to get into Bitcoin? And I was like,
no.
yeah, sure. Tell me more
You're
about
like,
it.
explain it to me.
I just love, and I'll say this. I
Wasting our
watch
time.
YouTube videos of these people who will talk to hackers and they do the reverse hack where
I
they
love
get into the
those
hackers'
videos.
computers and they delete all their files. And I'm like, that
Is it the guy
so-
that talks like an old woman?
Yes.
I love that guy.
It is so genius.
He's like,
I just love that.
okay, what do
That's
I
what the
press?
internet needs, right? We need a little bit of like a little offense with these crazy
It's
people
like
that
the
are trying
people
to hack
who
our
are
world.
like, who call and it's like, "I'm the IRS. You need to go to Target. You need to buy this many gift cards, and then go to the bank, and then
Crazy.
do this." And then the other person online is like, they're like in their house. They're like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm in my
at
car now.
Target.
I'm at Target. Okay, I just bought them. And they read like fake numbers.
Yeah.
And the people on the other side get,
They get
so
upset. They're like,
annoyed.
no, that's
Yes.
not a real number.
Yep.
Well, and Mark Rober did his yearly Porch Pirate scam. Did you see that? The glitter bomb.
It gets better every time.
Every year it gets
Glitter
better.
bombs.
So cool. I'm like, I don't. It's the Schadenfreude, right?
What's that?
What's that German word? Like I relish your pain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
that's true.
It's awesome.
I've never heard of that.
No, the glitter
Schadenfreude.
bomb, it gets better every year. I'll tell you.
What's
It's-
interesting, I was listening to Armchair Expert, and they have like a new segment where they do conspiracy theories and whatnot. And they had Bill Gates on because he has all these conspiracy theories around him, and the coronavirus vaccine and all this stuff. And it was so interesting because Monica Padman brings up this point. She's like, what's so funny is people are now convinced that you're putting microchips in their arms, but no one's even bringing up the fact that you literally brought the home computer. Like you put the computer and the phone in their pocket, and they're not thinking of that
They
as
never
part of the
question
conspiracy
that.
theory.
Nah.
Like that brings so much more pain and suffering in the world than whatever vaccine you funded. And
They
he goes, I know.
They intentionally bought this device and put it in their homes.
It has a camera.
Yeah.
It has all their
Oh
information
my gosh!
on it.
The
They're
amount
filing
of
the
tracking
taxes on
that's
it.
happening on your phone at all times, listening to you and
Okay,
watching
so
you and
on the
knowing
radio
what
today,
you like.
they were
Right.
talking about the biggest Super Bowl commercials.
Uh-huh.
Number
we
2
didn't even
was the
talk
one
about
with
Super Bowl.
Colin Firth and Scarlett Johansson, and it's the commercial.
Colin Jost.
Jost, whatever.
Jost.
Who's Colin? Oh, Colin Firth is the
the
guy from
British
Mamma
guy.
Mia.
Yes.
Colin Jost. And the commercial is them in their house, and they have an Alexa, and he's like,
careful, okay?
"Oh, wouldn't it be great if?" Oh, sorry.
She's
If
listening.
She'll hear.
if she like knows everything about you, and it goes on different scenes about when she's like, "Oh, do you want to go get like ramen tonight?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, totally." And then she is like, he actually does not want that.
Yeah.
He wants this. And it's like all the different scenes of like them lying to each other,
But that
but
was
Alexa
the whole concept.
knows.
Is like, what if she could read your mind? And
yes.
it's like,
get me
okay.
started
that was
on
number
that.
2.
Yeah.
That was number 2.
They're like, wouldn't that be crazy?
I'm telling you, I'm kind of convinced of that. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie to you.
and now they have devices. I was talking to a professor today about this, and my professor was talking about like these advancements in like technology and education that's happening. And she was saying how they have these devices now that they can connect to your brain. So if whatever reason you can't
Neuralink.
use your vocal cords, you can still get like your thoughts through, and your thoughts will get almost like, I don't even know how they do it. It like
It's the
reads
next step
your
in Neuralink.
yeah, I was
yeah,
going
like-
to say Neuralink.
and it like will get your thoughts through without you having to use your vocal cords or even like your eye movements like Stephen Hawking
Yeah.
did. Like
Well,
Yeah.
it's just
Elon Musk is
insane.
working
He's
on
testing it
Neuralink,
on
and they
monkeys
did a
right now.
monkey, yeah.
Yeah.
Where what was it? It was like you
Didn't they do
moved-
pigs?
First it was a mouse, and they were getting it to move.
They
The
finally
mouse-
made up to primates.
Yeah, and if
I
they
thought it was
did,
pigs.
if the mouse did the thing, if the monkey moved the computer mouse in the right way, he'd get a banana. Well, then what it was, they unplugged the mouse eventually,
Yeah.
and were connecting to the Neuralink, and the monkey was moving the mouse
Still in
with
the
the
same
Neuralink
way.
in the same way and getting treats, and the monkey had no idea that the mouse was completely unplugged. Like it was.
First of all, that they can train a monkey how to use a mouse.
I mean,
but
come
then, like,
on.
but it shows that. I mean, that's just another cool thing. Is like,
And I think it's
Monkey
interesting
brain.
because I feel like that's the most that's the that's the pure test, right? It's
Yeah.
because the monkey doesn't know that like isn't necessarily
No.
connecting that like okay I like am moving this or necessarily,
No.
but like whereas like a human might go like okay I understand that when I move this happens
Yep.
and then you know what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Well, and
That's crazy.
What's crazy is like truly the things that come out of that, like the idea that coma patients
Yes.
and like you
yeah.
know people who are in completely paralyzed or
Crazy.
vegetative states, like the idea that
They'll be able to
they
get their
could
point
still
across.
that they it basically would eradicate.
It'll start
that
in the medical
sense-
field, yeah.
yeah.
maybe you'll
Sure.
think twice before you unplug me. You can
No,
just pop that
we won't.
chip in
we
there.
won't. We're
How
gonna-
long
we're
did you
gonna-
say? How long did you say?
So you get a say in this?
Well, obviously, I'm driving Cara to
And
the
I'll be
hospital
there as
when
well.
she's
yeah.
Probably.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Distraught
Just for
about
business
this.
purposes.
I'll be there to make
Well,
sure that your
To cut my
share-
last paycheck, that would be great.
Listen, as your conservators,
That would be
Yeah,
great.
we
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't remember signing anything for
Of
that.
course you don't. You were in the coma.
I was having a dream about Albright Con or
Albright
something.
Con.
You wrote your name.
and you
in.
wrote your
That
name.
was
You
it.
didn't realize lies.
Wow.
The pen was there,
Wow. I
but
didn't-
You signed it in the
Who's doing
metaverse.
it?
That's
In the
what it was.
metaverse.
You signed it
You
in
know
the
what?
metaverse.
All right, well,
I knew I did.
as your conservators, I'm
Oh,
going to
go ahead.
unplug this
No,
podcast for tonight.
don't.
Do you know it's actually not a plug? It's a battery.
I'm going to
Disengage the battery.
Yeah, bye batteries.
Well,
what a good one,
hey,
guys.
what a podcast. You know,
What a podcast.
no, I should probably.
Come on.
I should probably play our theme song every
No.
once in a while.
No. Don't be crazy.
Well, it's been a night.
Thank
Time
you.
to-
Go ahead.
It's time to go get some foodies. Maybe some dessert.
Some
We'll see.
crumble.
Shout out to my boy Yee.
No,
this
it's
is not a
yay.
diss.
It's
No.
yay.
I stand
different
by.
guy. Different guy.
Different
Yeah.
guy. Oh, I'm not talking about Kanye. I'm talking about Yee. Yay.
The dinosaur
I
that
stand
goes
by.
yee.
Yay is way ahead of all of us. We are living in
don't-
his
We
past.
are sleepwalking into the future. Truly.
I don't like this new little
No.
segment.
Side note: Taylor Swift is not as good as Yay. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. We'll see you next
really?
time.
So anyone can just end the podcast now?
Yes. Go ahead.
Hey, make sure you go to poddex.com. Use the code WTP to get 10% off your next order. And hey, why don't you pop down, check out those affiliate links, watch the new Ryan and John React video. Pretty scary stuff. And as always, form your own freaking opinions.
Yep.
We'll see you next week on
Well,